She was my everything. And now I have nothing.
One more time.
She was my everything. And now I have nothing.
Funny enough, somebody threw this scenario at me. If you were presented with powers,
Yep.
would you be a hero or would you be a villain? I thought about that. 100% a villain.
You know who I would be? Have you ever watched the movie Hancock?
Yeah.
That's a pause name though.
I'll be that guy.
Fine.
I'll be the guy who gives no shits, just has powers. You holler at me if it's bad.
No, there's responsibilities that come with power. Fam.
Just holler at me if it's bad.
Like if shit goes around and like you're not there and people are like, you're the only one who could have done it. Why weren't you here?
All I'm saying is if I'm the hero and I have powers and another villain comes up, I'm more likely to join the villain.
Yeah.
Because he has powers too.
No,
I
I'll
can cause some chaos.
Would you mask up or you want people to know it's you?
Oh, it's me. Show face.
Nah,
Oh.
I'll mask up.
You're masking up?
I'll mask up.
Fucking Rey Mysterio ass nigga. Show your face, bro.
Nah, bro. I can't.
Show your face.
And too much
bro.
responsibility comes with being public superhero. You can't. People are gonna be like,
Peter
yo,
Parker ass nigga. Man.
celebrity ass.
I don't even watch the superhero shit. I know it better than
Peter Parker got exposed though.
that.
He did.
You don't remember him on the subway, fam? The
Actually,
people on the subway saw his face?
you mean Toby? Let's
Fuck
talk.
is Toby?
Toby Maguire? That's Spider-Man?
Yeah, Toby Maguire. Yeah.
Fam, we're talking about Tom Holland Spider-Man. He's talking about.
I don't watch that
Mm.
new age shit, bro. Like,
Fam.
come on, man. Classics are nothing.
But they forgot about him at the end of Spider-Man 3. Remember?
What?
They forgot about him.
Yeah,
Peter Parker doesn't exist technically.
that's true.
Why? I don't give a fuck. Nigga. Don't even tell me.
You care.
I don't give a shit.
You care. It's
How the
okay.
fuck do I care?
You already actually. I would
Shit's
tell you.
just stupid. It's gonna be stupid. Just whatever you're about to say is gonna be stupid.
That was an incredible movie. Incredible. 10 out of 10.
Changing lanes.
Okay.
Let's hear some basketball reviews.
All right. I
Start
like.
with the Knicks and the Heat.
What do you think about that series so far?
I just
Actually,
think.
let me ask you a better question. Go ahead.
Go
Do you think Jimmy Butler is gonna stay at this level of play even with this injury, or do you think it's over for them?
No, I think Jimmy's a dog. I think Jimmy. No, honestly,
man.
I think Jimmy Butler is.
It's a
capable.
once in a lifetime thing that happened last round.
What do you
It's
mean
not
once in a
happening.
lifetime? He did it in 2020.
It's never happening
What do you mean
again.
it's not
fam.
once in a
In the
lifetime?
bubble.
He's that guy. This is not Jamal Murray bubble season. What are you
Fam,
talking about, bro?
Fam. Jamal
Jimmy
Murray's
Butler's that
having a
guy.
great year, by the
Wait,
way. I don't
just
know.
to
We're
give-
gonna not throw shade on him.
Just to give context, we're shooting this before Game 3. Jimmy Butler was out Game 2.
Yeah.
Yep.
So now he's expected to play.
Game
Yeah,
time
continue.
decision.
Yeah,
Game time decision.
Jimmy's that guy, bro.
He's not. He's
He has
40,
a switch.
fam.
There's only a couple people in the league, in my opinion, that have the switch. LeBron has that switch.
When is
Steph
his
has
getting
that
turned on?
switch. It was turned off the entire Bucks series. What are you talking about?
I'm just saying right now with this injury and knowing his age.
Okay.
Come on, man.
Well, we'll make
Put some reality into
Bro,
play.
I'm telling you right now, Jimmy Butler is about to drop 30 minimum tonight.
25.
Did you not see the way the game 2 ended?
25 at
He was
best.
doing this. He was smiling like this. He was looking around, smiling. That's how you know he's a sickle.
Fam, it's because his team's nice, man. Gabe
No.
Vincent is, he was smiling because his guys showed up.
No,
Even though
he
they
was
lost.
smiling because he was thinking about what he's gonna do to them in Miami
No.
in Game 3.
No.
He's a
You're
sicko.
wrong.
He was
You're
he
wrong.
was thinking about how he would destroy the Knicks in a way that demoralizes them.
He's not doing
Fam,
shit.
he's
He's not
the
even the best player on the team, man.
he's the reason the Bucks are going through a whole mayhem. He's doing an entire.
Give me Bam Adebayo over Jimmy.
Bam hasn't been playing like that though.
Give me Bam over Jimmy.
Bam talent or Bam right now?
This guy's sick.
I'll
He's
I'll-
sick, bro.
answer that later.
He actually believes that.
I gotta
Oh,
see how it
you're only,
goes.
you're only saying that because you're in front of a camera.
No,
you
no,
know,
no.
and
Listen,
I
listen.
know.
Camera's not even here right now. I'm
You
just
know,
telling you from
and I know.
basketball facts, being an aficionado.
Okay, let me ask you a question then. Final shot of a game.
And I'm gonna go
Who
with
are you
Jimmy.
passing it to, Jimmy?
I'm gonna go with Jimmy.
Then
obviously.
why the hell you just say Bam Adebayo right now though?
Well, okay, let me rebut that.
Go ahead.
2021 NBA playoffs.
Okay.
Celtics versus Heat. Was it game 5? Bam Adebayo gets a game-saving block. One of the greatest blocks of all time.
Okay.
Give me that over any Jimmy shot. any day.
Are you dumb? Do you not remember that was the same series? That was the same
Fam, it's
series.
Bam Adebayo,
Fam,
fam.
that was the same
Idris
series
Adebayo,
where
fam.
My boy put his entire team, and at the end of the game, he was just huffing and puffing.
So
When has Bam Adebayo ever exerted that level of effort in any game? Give me every day.
there's room to grow here. There's room to grow here.
Yeah. Okay. So we have to just last second X factors and winner for this upcoming game.
Oh, I think the Miami Heat are winning it all.
Who's the X
The
factor?
whole series.
It's Jimmy.
Or the
If Jimmy comes out like game one, Jimmy,
Okay,
it's game. But if Jimmy comes out with like a little bit like not playing well because of his ankle injury, the Knicks have it.
How about you? X factor and winner.
This goose is cooked, baby. We're going to the next round. New York
Get the hell out of
conference finals.
Who do you think is gonna turn up in this game though?
I personally think Jalen Brunson's gonna have a game of his life and propel them to the next round. Whether it's this next game or the game after that, but I personally think Jalen Brunson is in for a really, really big night to propel them to the next level.
Okay.
Jimmy's gonna stop that.
Suns Nuggets. Discuss.
Oh, I just think it's all about if Jamal Murray is the key factor. If he plays, if he drops 30 to 40 points, which he's very capable of doing, it's over. I don't think Chris Paul is out. I think Devin Booker and Kevin Durant are gonna put up what they're superstars. They're gonna do what they're gonna do.
Yeah, they
you know?
put up like what?
But I don't
50
think
last night.
I don't
Yeah.
think their team is that incredible.
I would agree.
You know?
Agree. But let me say this: to throw it back around to you. What player on the Denver Nuggets can give you 40 to 50?
You just need two players to go crazy. Nikola Jokic.
Just give me one player.
Nikola Jokic.
Okay, give me one player who's a high volume scorer on the Denver.
I think Aaron Gordon could put up a high 20. I think he could put up
I'm about
25.
to leave this room right
Aaron
now,
Gordon could put
man.
up 25.
I'm about to leave this room
MPJ,
right now.
If he's streaky, he could put up 20. What are you talking
Aaron
about?
Gordon?
Yeah.
Let's get back to Aaron Gordon real quick. Who the fuck are you talking about?
Fam, they
The
have...
dunk contest nigga? The guy
Bro,
jumped-
don't disrespect Aaron Gordon.
The nigga that
Don't
jumped over to
disrespect-
Miami? I mean, the Orlando
Aaron Gordon
mascot?
is an
This
amazing role
nigga?
player. He's an amazing role player.
Fuck out of here, bro.
Fam, every team would be dying to have Aaron Gordon on their
All
team.
I'm saying is
What are you talking about, bro?
KD is due for a historic game. I know I just said this about Jalen Brunson, but KD is due for a historic game, 55 plus
Get the hell out of my face.
win.
Never that.
So you're saying the Suns are gonna win next game?
Yep.
So right now
I-
they're 2-1.
Guaranteed.
Denver.
Let's
is
risk
winning-
guys'
Denver
TikTok.
is winning it all, bro.
Put me on your TikTok, man. Come on. Guaranteed.
Denver is winning it
So
all.
you're saying next game in the series, Denver's gonna win, and you're saying Suns
Yeah.
is gonna win next game next year in the whole series?
No, I would say I personally think it's going to 6 or 7, and I would take as of right now the Denver Nuggets, but I think anything's possible.
Gotcha.
KD's he's not gonna have another bad game like he did last game, even though that was a good game. He
No.
started off kind of streaky.
And neither is Jamal Murray.
Jamal Murray, he can't lace KD and Booker's
I'm not saying he's
boots,
gonna,
my nigga.
No, I'm not saying he's lit.
Those guys are going
He's
off, man. He can
offensively
take-
on the same level as these.
Nope,
guys.
nope,
If
nope, nope,
He's
nope,
having
nope,
a good
nope,
game.
nope,
If
nope,
he's having a good game.
Nope.
Get out of my face, bro. Jamal
Okay,
Murray.
we'll leave it there.
We can
We'll
agree
leave
to
it there.
disagree. The last two was Warriors and Lakers.
I think Golden State has it, bro. Even though I hate saying I want LeBron to win his 5th, I just
You
think
hate saying that?
I hate saying that.
The fuck?
Actually,
nigga,
to
what
be
you
honest,
become a hater.
I love both these teams. Like I vividly watched both of
You're a
their
Curry fan.
series.
You're
No.
a Curry fan.
I love Lakers. I love LeBron, and I love Steph.
You
I
do
want
love
them
LeBron.
both to be great.
You do love LeBron.
I want them both to be great, but I just don't think that the players around LeBron James are, and I just don't think LeBron James is that high caliber of player anymore. He's great, but he's not capable of having those bursts of energies like he used to.
2018 alive.
Yeah, he's not capable of doing it anymore. It sucks seeing my GOAT not as great as he used to be, but I just think Steph is aging like wine, fam. I just think that nigga he's stronger defensive. He's not a defensive liability anymore. He's scoring out of his mind. He's willing his team. Like, you know, when people are like, yo, where is the aggression that Steph Curry had in like 2015, 2016? It's right here. This is right here. Like, he's doing greatness, and I don't think the Lakers are capable of being up to par with this team. Unless AD shows up. If AD shows up, it's a little different ballgame, you know?
I disagree heavily. I think that the Lakers have a good chance of winning this series off the strength that Jordan Poole takes ill-advised shots,
He's a dumbass.
and he's not consistent at all, and he's gonna hurt their offense that way. Not only that, but I personally think that they're having a hard time making a decision with Draymond Green being the primary defender of AD or Kevon Looney, and they need both those guys to show up in their role. And only one guy can guard AD at a time, so it's gonna
Kawhi
come
Leonard
down.
was sick last game too. So
Yeah, so he didn't get much burn, so he's gonna
12
play a
minutes.
little bit more next game, and they're gonna have to, share the minutes between him and Draymond, and that's gonna eventually hurt them, in my opinion.
Nah, bro. Golden State, I think they're built better.
I disagree.
I just think they're a better team.
The role players on the Lakers, Hachimura, Reeves, Malik Beasley's been MIA this series. I think I personally think that he is their secret weapon because he's their most reliable 3-point shooter, stats wise,
Okay.
and he hasn't been playing a lot of minutes. So I think inserting him in the offense, especially when they're gonna zone you, which they have been doing every now and then, I think that helps you generate some 3-point baskets.
So you think Lakers are taking it? All right.
LeBron's getting that fifth, buddy.
I would love that. I would honestly love that. But I just don't think that team is built for that.
X factor
Ooh.
and winner for next game. Go.
It's AD, bro. If AD shows up, it's Lakers. If AD doesn't show up, it's Golden State. Simple.
How about you?
I would say it's Draymond Green / Jordan Poole. Draymond Green plays great defense, checking AD for the majority of the game. They win the game. If Jordan Poole takes a lot of shots and has a bad shooting night, they lose the game.
He has no ball IQ, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's what
He's
I
not
think he thinks that
intelligent.
he's Curry sometimes, which is a
Yeah.
problem.
Okay, so last series,
Mhm.
MVP winner Joel Embiid
Oof.
and Philly versus Boston. Go.
Oof.
You go first.
All right. I'm gonna say this. What I saw last night was horrendous from James Harden.
Watch the game.
It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. I personally think that we were talking about this earlier too. I think that he needs to understand that you can score alongside an elite scorer. You don't have to be the entire show.
Quick
When-
context: we're shooting after game. Was it 3?
Game 3, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
And James Harden shot poorly. Even in game 2, he shot poorly. Game 1, he goes off for 45. I think that this series has gotten too much in James Harden's head that will be their demise, and the Boston Celtics are going to the conference finals.
I agree with that. Yeah, 100%. I don't think Joel Embiid coming off an injury is gonna play at
Yeah.
peak caliber.
Yeah.
I think James Harden he's not a good second option.
Mhm.
He's an incredible first option.
Mhm.
But I just think Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart.
Mind you, though, and
They're
sorry
just-
to cut you off, I think that Jaylen Brown is playing through some kind of a significant injury that's been holding him back because
Well,
he's
like-
not looking like himself.
Like his face?
He has a laceration in his hand.
Okay.
He cut his hand before the playoffs started, and he's wearing a cast.
He dropped a phase of flowers or something.
I saw that story too. I was like, bro, like what the fuck, bro? Right before the playoffs,
It's fine though. He's playing.
and he has the face injury too. So he's kind of playing, at half himself,
Yeah.
and it's showing. So I think that there's still room for the Sixers to kind of get it together. But with James Harden playing like this, I have no faith in them. It's over with.
So
Philly's done.
you're saying Boston's gonna win the next game in the series?
5.
How about you?
100% Boston. They're a better team. Everybody is for the most part healthy.
Yeah.
And
And Al
they
Horford's
just have
playing
better
like a
chemistry.
stud, bro.
Yeah.
40% from the deep, nigga.
What did he have in game 1 where he was playing terrible?
Yeah, he was having a bad game in game
Yeah.
1. But I think that was a
Overall,
feel-out game,
yeah.
Yeah. So just quick takes on the firing of the coach from the Bucks.
Hallelujah. Praise be to God. Thank God. I mean, I feel bad for the guy because I heard in the media that his brother died in a car accident. So, obviously-
Recently?
in the playoffs while that was going on, So I think that's a huge factor.
They fired him.
And he was gonna get fired. Writing was on the wall.
NBA is ruthless.
The reason why I say it's a good day for Bucks fans is because it's another chance at Nick Nurse, baby. Let's go. We need that guy coming to town.
Fam, you're such a fake Toronto.
Are you kidding me? We need Nick in town. We need Nick in Wisconsin, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, funny enough, it would be hilarious if Nick Nurse played for the Bucks, knowing that
Played
he was
for?
the one who created the entire strategy about Giannis.
Give the wall a lie.
Yeah, it's
That's what I'm
so
saying.
funny.
He'll be
It's
so
so-
great to dissect other people trying to guard Giannis because he knows how to guard Giannis.
Yeah, exactly. Like he did the play, like the layout for everybody. Everybody started doing that in order to. It's incredible, bro.
Nick to Milwaukee. Getting the hype train started.
So speaking of
Yeah.
Toronto Raptors, us and a few other teams have gone through a tumultuous situation this year, and we've gone into some sticky situations. We haven't really succeeded since that 2019 team.
Yep.
There's other extenuating factors, but what do you guys think? What would have changed, and what would the situation be if Kawhi Leonard stayed here?
Ooh,
I think I could take this.
go for it.
First, I think we as a team, we would have been easy back to back.
Think so? The next year?
Easy back to back. I don't think the Bucks were ready for us.
Mhm.
I don't think did KD and Kyrie go there yet?
I think KD went there in the
during
off
that
season.
season, no?
Yeah, the off season he went to Brooklyn.
Yeah, I don't think that team was ready enough, even with all the injuries that they had and with all like
KD was
not
out for an
yeah.
entire year.
I think it was a very Boston wasn't there yet mentally. I think right now they're capable of going back to the finals after that experience last year. But I don't think Boston was there.
So
and
we
I
would have
think
snagged our second.
it would have been an easy back-to-back, and Kawhi was the X factor. If Kawhi stayed, Ibaka would have signed a contract. Kyle Lowry would have possibly stayed longer. I think our Norman Powell would still be there.
Did we beat the bubble Lakers though?
Yeah,
Think so.
100%.
AD and LeBron played like magic.
Jimmy Butler. No offense to Miami, he let Jimmy Butler, but I honestly don't think that team was that great.
So you agree with my
No,
original
I think
statement.
Jimmy Butler
Yeah.
is great, but I don't think that team was that great. And I think
Turn it around,
I think a
man.
Kawhi-led Raptors could have easily destroyed that Miami Heat team.
100%.
100%. And we would have.
We went to Game 7 with the Celtics, who ended up going to Game 6 with them, right?
Yeah,
In the bubble.
exactly.
And
exactly.
we were down 3-2. No,
Yeah.
we were down 3-1, right? And we almost came back
Yeah.
against the Celtics, yeah. And
We would have easily
we had that
won
OG
back to back.
Anunoby shot.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
fucking rolling, man.
100%.
What I do.
Tampa Bay.
He just
Tampa
walked
Bay.
it off, fam. He just fam. Easily, we would have been back to back.
Kawhi and Tampa Bay.
But that all matters about if Kawhi stayed healthy, because I know he went to the Clippers, and he right now he's at a point where he's a part-time basketball player. He comes back when he wants. He takes days off, and I don't know, maybe the way his body's built,
That
fam.
is true. It's a good point. I mean, his availability has not been good in the last 5 years.
You know, I was thinking actually, it probably was better that he left,
Think so?
because if he stayed and basically did not play the entire season, we would have been screwed. Because now we're paying him all this money.
But he
We can't
played
do
like what,
anything.
50 games for us when he was even here? He didn't
Yeah.
even play 82. He played like a little bit more than half the year.
Let me ask you guys a question. Do you think it's Toronto's training staff that are better managing his injuries, or is it the Clippers not knowing how to handle him? Or
I think he just got a little bit too much leverage on the Clippers, you know? When he came to Toronto, I feel like the situation, both parties' hands were tied. Kawhi Leonard had to kind of
Leave Spurs.
prove himself after leaving the Spurs, and the Raptors wanted to get something out of the trade. They just traded their superstar player they had for 9 years, so they needed to make something out of it, right?
Yeah.
So if both parties were incentivized to be at their best, and I think after the fact, once both parties were, given what they wanted, right? I think that's when Kawhi Leonard got into the, I think he got a little selfish, or maybe his camp got a little bit too selfish, because from what I heard, the Clippers offered him access to like a private jet or some crazy shit. He got like a condo, like he got so much random perks, that the Raptors either weren't in the position to be able to give him, or just flat out weren't trying to do that. So I feel like it's on Kawhi Leonard's side.
the
a little bit.
helicopters following him around didn't help.
That is true,
Yeah.
But then again, we were literally offering him the entire city, fam. Like Kawhi and Dine was on every restaurant.
They
Fam.
were giving him a free car, a free hotel,
Free
a
everything.
free house.
Like, yo, what the fuck?
Bro,
What the hell?
he could have lived here for free.
Our economy would have been better if Kawhi Leonard stayed.
Yeah, that too. Like as a
Jobs
city
would have been
perspective,
here, like
yeah.
the Eglinton tracks would have been done by now, fam. Like, come on, there's so much shit would have happened. I'm just saying, our city would have been in way better position. Maybe we wouldn't have had these problems we have now.
John Tory would have stayed.
John
faithful.
Tory would have been faithful, man.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. There's so much things. But honestly, yeah, I think Kawhi Leonard staying, there's give and take, like there's things you can get. But I do agree with what you said. We could have definitely taken out those bitches.
If Kawhi stayed healthy, we would have been back-to-back championships. If he
Bubble
stayed,
ring,
100%.
back
And
to
LeBron would
back.
only have 3 then, eh?
But then we wouldn't have had a second parade because it was COVID.
How did the Lakers deal with
They
it?
didn't have a parade.
Really?
Yeah,
I feel like they did. They
went
never had no
bowling.
parade. They went bowling.
by themselves.
Did they have a parade way afterwards though?
No, because the next year there
Oh,
was
I
no
didn't-
fans. Remember?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I thought they did have something when they got back to LA, but I guess not.
Nah, that whole stretch of 2021 was just so weird because it was like half in the middle of COVID still.
Yeah,
the
they started in
lockdown.
December, no? Christmas?
Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
the Omicron time.
Oh,
That was still a weird time.
it's true.
Omicron. Our kids are gonna be like, "What the fuck was that?" I'm be like, "I don't
Is
even."
it one of
know
the streams,
that."
yellow? Whatever it was.
It's one of
One
the,
of the
variations.
variants. One of the
variants.
No,
The
but
new DLC.
the one thing I'd say is Kawhi he let us know from the beginning that he was not going to stay here. That
Not really.
You think so?
No.
Yeah, it was in the media that
I think winning a championship would have persuaded him to be like, this is actually a
he won a championship though and still left.
yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I thought it would have persuaded him to
Yeah.
stick around. I thought that was the factor.
No, it seems like he's the guy that his circle, they're about their business and they're
That's what
about,
I'm saying. I think
yeah.
the negotiating kind of hurt us in the long run.
but like we had anyway, that's another point. But no, but he seemed like he was about his business. He said it was in the media, I'm going to LA afterwards. That's where I want to be.
Mhm.
And that's where he ended up.
Mhm.
And
He
it
just
seemed like
he signed with New Balance shortly after that. You know?
exactly.
There's
And
a
it
lot
seemed
of
like
shit.
business
Mhm.
and family aligned for him. And but he didn't have to sacrifice really much of anything because who knows what he does in his off time. But would you guys be okay with sacrificing family for your own businesses?
I'll say this as somebody who is an actual business owner, right? I only got into business, right, as kind of like an out for society, I guess. You know what I mean? And what I mean by that is I personally value family more than I value business, right? My personal success will never be ahead of my family's success. You know, I'd rather my kids be somebody in society who are respected than me trying to be for the rest of my life, you know?
Yeah.
I think your golden years are when you're young. And I feel like I'm not saying that my time is done. I'm still going to obviously pursue stuff in life and try and be the businessman that I want to be, obviously. But I feel like the older I get, the more my focus goes into shaping a family and making it what I always desired to be, the perfect home.
Mhm.
You know, I think the household is more important to me. So I can't see myself sacrificing my family in any way for my business. However, I know being a business person that there has to be some sacrifices I have to make in order for my business to grow. So I'm kind of torn in between that, but I would say family is more of something that I would value rather than business and success.
You would want to uplift your family, and would you try to find? Do you believe in compromises between the two, or
Yeah, definitely. I think with spouses, 100%, there needs to be open communication. Let them know kind of what's going on. Don't be too distant and stuff like that. If you need to be distant, give them some heads up about it. You know, like there's things like that that need to be, you know, compromised in a sense. But when it comes to your time, right? I'm somebody who's really big on time. And I don't think compromising my time for a potential dollar amount is smart if I'm going to be, you know, taking away time from my kids or, you know, the actual fundamental years of my children and my family being raised.
So you would take a step back from Slim,
Yeah,
from
yeah,
Crafty,
yeah, yeah. To be a dad, especially at the younger ages, for sure.
but at the cost of your business not being successful.
Yeah, because to me, honestly, man, like it's not. This is not my life's work.
Okay.
You know, this is something that I personally think I'm good at, and I'm
Yeah.
trying to achieve more in and
Yeah.
be successful at. But I feel like my life's work is more with people, right? And when it comes to people, the closest people to me will be my family, my immediate
Yeah.
nuclear family. And I think focusing on them is really where, you know, the magic of life happens.
That's interesting.
what's
So-
your take?
That's tough for me because, like, for me, I always talk about right time and place, right?
Mhm.
Like, I want to be at a place in my career prior to marriage and
Mhm.
prior to kids
Mhm.
that I feel comfortable being able to make a sufficient amount to provide for them. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, I don't know how it would feel being in that growing stage
Yeah.
and having a family and kind of shifting my interest to two different things.
Mhm.
Because I really think up until I get to a certain point, I need to focus on one.
Mhm.
And that's my job.
Mhm.
Like, I need to be at a certain place. And then once I'm comfortable enough that I can kind of be okay taking a step back from that, then I can invest in like a family, like getting a wife, getting kids. Because I think being successful comes with a cost. I
Definitely.
really do. It's an expense. Like, you have to be able to take some things back until you're on a good enough place that you can do multiple things at the same time, you know?
100%.
And for me, that number is changing every year.
Okay.
Like, I need to be at a certain income level to be married. I need to be at a certain place to have kids. Like, I don't want to be that type of father who is because I feel like I would be focusing on my craft to the point where I'm a little bit like obsessed with it, and I don't want to take that away from my kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because my kids deserve their father to be with them every step of the way.
Mhm.
And I feel like if I'm at that point where I'm at that growing stage, or I'm growing my business, or I'm growing something, I'm not going to be able to be there for them all the time. And that's the stages when they're young is what they're going to remember the most.
Yep.
You know, and I don't want to be that father where you weren't there for me when I was a kid. I don't want to be that. So I need to be at a certain place prior. So at a certain point, business is more important than me. And then after that, when I prioritize my family, that's until the end of my life. That's what's gonna be it for me.
Fair enough.
So how would you handle if things are escalating with a girl that you plan on marrying? Would you tell her?
I would be very upfront with her. I would be like, I'm very invested in what we have. I want to grow with you. But for me to be comfortable and for me to provide for this family, I need to be at a certain place financially and in my business whole life, right? And I just want you to know I'll be focusing on this until I get to this goal of mine. And then after that, we can totally, invest in each other, have kids, do all this stuff, But at a certain point, I need to grow as a person, and grow my business in order to be the perfect person, to be a husband, to be a father, And that's just me personally. I know a lot of people may disagree with that, but I just think I need to be somewhere first before I create outwards,
I don't know, man. I feel like I agree with what you're saying, but at the same time, I'm also thinking like, if I was like a postman, right, or like a mailman, right, I still think I could be a great dad. Not making the most amount of money in the world, just average job, postman,
Terry Crews from Everybody Hates Chris.
right? It's a good reference, like that. But no, I really feel like the time that you commit is really what's gonna make you that type of family that you want in life. So it's not necessarily to me about the dollar amount, it's about the time that I'm spending. If I have to sacrifice too much time for the betterment of my business and the betterment of myself for financial gain, I just don't think that that's worth it, But there's a fine line that you got to cross. Obviously, you don't want to be broke.
I don't want to be a millionaire, but I want to be good. I want to be well off.
100,000er.
Yeah, I'm fine with being 100, like a high 100,000er. Not like 500,000, but like
999. Let's go.
On a serious, I want to be in that like 150 to 250 range, right?
Inshallah, it's possible. It's very doable.
To do that, like I'm growing to that, but to do that, like there's sacrifices you have to make, and to do that while owning your own business, because it's different if you work for somebody else. I want to do that coming from me. I want to be my own source of income, So that's gonna take a lot of growing, and to be invested in two things 100%, that's not possible. I don't think it's possible to be 100% in two different avenues. I don't think it's right for me to compromise and give my wife 50% because she deserves 100. Like I'm not that type of person who is 50% invested in a relationship. When I'm in a relationship, I'm going 100 miles per hour. Like we're here together. And I don't think it's right by her if I'm not with her for the amount that she deserves.
Yeah.
And I know I'm going to be at that place later where I can provide that. But by all means, if she can't stick around long enough, I understand and pursue whatever makes you happy. You know what I mean?
So it seems like you guys both shared some. Everybody just has to have some sort of self-actualization.
Yeah.
Like knowing yourself, knowing where you are in that stage, and how to develop from that point to how can I commit as much as I need to at the relationship and at the business side. This is so sort of on the same page though. Certain people, they're throughout their life, they may not know what path they want to be on. It may take some time for people, younger or older. Do you think it's a necessary thing for people to enter post-secondary education if they don't know what they want to do in life and what path they want to go on?
You want to take a lead?
Yeah. You know what? It's a good question. And I thought about this a lot when I was choosing my career, and I was just telling you guys earlier, but I did not know what I wanted to do in high school, fam. To be honest with you, I was just so I was so lost. I just knew, you got to go to school. Like that's what everybody else is doing, So I'm like, fuck it, I have to go to school. That's my thought process in high school. It was, I have to go to school. There's no other option, Little did I know, you don't have to go to school if you don't know what you want to do, right? My dumbass went into something that I had no idea if I was good at or not, right? Alhamdulillah, it worked out for me. IT is a good career. I love it. Go into IT if you are. But I had no idea that it was something that I was capable of doing, that I wanted to do. I'm still even considering if I don't want to do this or not, So I was kind of conditioned into going into the field that I picked by a high school teacher of mine, right? And then when I got into the field, I started to realize what it takes to be good at it, and then started to learn the ins and outs, and then kind of worked my way to where I am right now. But if I would have had maybe a year or two just to myself, just understanding my skills and weaknesses, right? Which is hard to do at that age, especially, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't really know a lot about yourself, right? But if I was submerged into like maybe like work right after school, some kind of like either thought provoking work,
Mhm.
not like labor or anything like that, then I think that would have helped me out in life, trying to figure out what I want to do. Maybe I would have went into business earlier. Who knows? Maybe I would have started a fashion company earlier, right? But for the most part, I had no idea what I wanted to do. And another factor that was going in my head was, yo, I'm racking up this debt.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be in this
That's
shit,
the problem. That's
racking up this debt. Like OSAP's giving me change now, but I'm going to give it back. You know what I mean? So like, as great as it was getting, semesterly drops in from OSAP, you're always going to be thinking, yo, as soon as I'm done this shit, man, this money has to go back, right?
Mhm.
So I would advise anyone who's coming out of school to just really consider their options, because it is an option to not go into school right away. I wasn't told that. I wasn't made aware of that as a youngin', and I would go back and change that. I would take a year off after
but
high
things
school.
worked out for you though.
It did. That's why I'm saying alhamdulillah. It was great, And IT is a great field to be in because it's not hard to find a job, But had I made the decision to get into a field that was harder to find work and that I still didn't like, and if that decision was made a little bit more irresponsibly than it already was, my life would have been shit.
Interesting.
Would have been so mad.
That's for me, bro. Fam, like when I think it's so bizarre that you tell a 17-year-old that's turning 18 that you need to pick what you're gonna be doing for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
I just think that's so bizarre. Like we don't even have we can't even do so much. We're not legal enough to do a lot of things, but we're legal enough to pick our path.
Mhm.
Like, come on, bro. Like, I just don't think it's realistic.
Niggas didn't
And-
even know how to change a tire, fam.
Yeah, like what the hell?
What
Fam,
the
I still
fuck?
don't know how to change a tire.
A lot. Like, what the fuck?
But I've personally, for me, before I answer this question, I didn't know what I was gonna do. I went to business. I thought somebody picked it from me. I was like, yo, what do you think is the most successful shot of me getting a career? She picked it for me. She's like, yo, go into business. And then I did. And alhamdulillah, it's similar to you, it worked out. But I'm sure there are so many cases where people go to school and they end up coming out and with these 40, 50,000 debts and not having a job,
Mhm.
And I think it's so abysmal to me that like kids go to these schools just because of the social pressure of them to want to attend university. Like you should go to university, you should go to college, and that's probably a little coming from parents, that's a little coming from your peers. Like it's like
Even from the school, bro.
Uh-huh.
They were like, yo, we're all gonna apply for school post-secondary together right now. at this
yeah,
class.
remember
What if I didn't want to go?
Exactly. Like
Yeah.
I think it's so much pressure, and to the point where even the system was kind of created in a way that doesn't like benefit us. Like we're applying to these programs that are worth $50,000-$40,000 at the very end,
Mhm.
and the avenue is OSAP.
Mhm.
But they don't tell you at the very end that although it feels awesome to have 10,000 in your bank account to year one, because I remember I was taking screenshots of my
Fam,
bank account.
Niggas
It
been
felt
taking the
it felt
wildest
incredible.
shit, man. Yo,
But-
true
but-
religion.
But that 10,000 that I got year one, they didn't tell me it would be 15,000 at the end.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Mhm.
for every year. Like they finesse you. They make a child. They give that child so much money
Yeah.
that and of course it's towards school, but they don't understand that later on when you become a certain age, you have to pay this back.
Mhm.
I didn't think about paying stuff back when I got my phone.
Mhm.
Like when I got my laptop.
Mhm.
So I honestly think, and the funny thing is, man, they even have a major called undeclared.
Yeah,
That is
man.
the
What the
biggest
fuck?
finesse.
You
Like,
could come to school
come
and
here,
not
think
know.
about it.
Pay us and still not know what you want.
Like they're trying to finesse you to the highest degree.
That's
like,
crazy. I didn't even take that in.
Like I just don't think it's right. And my thing is, don't go unless you know. Like, take volunteer to different things. Do experience for free. Like, do an internship. Like, prior to you going and investing in X amount of money, make sure that's what you want to do. And I know that's a hard question to ask, but there's so many different avenues that you could take to figure out what you probably may want to do.
Yeah.
Like work for different organizations. Figure out what kind of gets you excited. At that point, invest in 50K. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
it's so confusing to me.
Would you guys be like advocates for people to go to school older instead of younger?
100%.
Yeah.
25.
100%.
It's never too late, bro.
It's never too
I was in college, bro. When I was in college, my last semester, I took night courses, right? Because I had to go to work during the day. Broski, almost everybody in my class was like 40 plus, all doing their either second, third run of school, post-secondary, just trying to build their skills in something else, trying to jump into a different career. And wallahi, it was eye-opening to me. I was like, yo, you can never be too old for this shit. If you want to learn, you want to get into a field, you want to get into an avenue to make yourself some money or to establish your career,
Mhm.
there's no old age, fam. There's
Facts.
no too young, there's no too old. Like you can get into anything whenever. So when it comes to like picking your schooling path,
Yeah.
yeah, you should really consider all your options until you're 100% sure. 'Cause that's
To add to
thousands of
that,
dollars.
bro, I really, in my opinion, what I may want to instill in my children is I would want them to pay out of pocket their first year of university, just their first year. I'm gonna support them moving forward, but I really want them to know the value of money. Like if you're gonna be spending $10,000 on your first year, I want you to be able to know the value of it. Because for me personally, when I got that $10,000 from OSAP, that number wasn't real to me, and I thought it was kind of like, oh, it's cool. I spent it on stuff. I spent it on my courses. At the very end, I had $0, but it was like fake money to me, right?
Yeah.
It was like monopoly money.
Yeah.
But if you kind of create this wealth and spend months kind of saving up for it, and then you invest your hard-earned money into your education, then you start to understand the ramifications of what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
because you're not getting a load that you're gonna have to be spending more later for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, that's kind of my input on it.
So it seems like channeling again. The theme of this episode seems like self-realization
Yeah.
and channeling, and it's really the society impact that's put on a lot of our shoulders, that they're trying to push you to a certain way, but knowing who you are and learning how to sacrifice and growing a business at the same time, entering the post-secondary and education, you have to know how to deal with pain though. And I want to channel this back into relationships.
Yeah.
Throughout life and throughout aging, do you
Mhm.
think you'd be able to deal with cheating at certain levels of your life and certain ages of your life differently? And more of an impact towards your life as it stands?
That's interesting.
Like you're talking like teens, 20s, 30s, 40s
Yeah,
type of shit.
Mhm.
comparing.
I want to hear your take on this, Mr. Relationship.
Listen, like, listen. I've told you guys 100 times. I'm a long-term relationship guy.
Yeah, we've
I'm
heard.
not a short-term. I don't like.
Have you heard?
I don't like being.
heard.
I've
I
heard.
don't like being in like something that is gonna be short and short-lived. Like I rather invest in something worth my time.
I swear, if I
You don't say.
I'm gonna have to get that song, that big pun song. I'm not a player. I just crush a lot.
That's it, Wala.
So for me, first and foremost, cheating would be devastating for me personally
Mhm.
because I know what I put into relationships,
Yeah.
and I know like the emotion that I invest and the time that I go through. I know it's going to be painful for me.
Mhm.
But to answer your immediate question, would it be different throughout different stages of my life? Yeah, I 100% agree.
Okay,
If
so
I'm in
many-
my teens,
Yeah, okay, yeah, go ahead.
if I'm in my teens and I get cheated on, easy, cut that person off. You know,
Okay.
easy, cut that person. Like I know it was probably some stupid shit, like children shit. Like I know it was probably dumb. 20s, you get a little bit more mature. You start to realize that the person had intent behind their cheating. You know,
Okay.
so
I'm
by all
following.
means, I'm still gonna cut that off because I know I'm
20s.
like I haven't invested too much
So
time
teens,
into it.
cut off. 20, cut
Cut
off.
off 30s.
30s. We're staying?
I'm not staying,
Oh, he's still
but it's a
cutting off.
conversation. It's
Okay,
a
what are we
conversation.
talking about?
Like I feel like
But it's all a conversation every
it's a,
time.
no 20s and teens. I think it's cut off.
You're not even going to consider speaking and getting their reasoning at 20s?
What reason would you have?
I don't know. Maybe they're just,
What?
What reason would they have at 30?
Oh, maybe like yo, you weren't there for me.
Why can't that happen? Why can't that happen in your 20s?
You're 20. You're still in your growing stages, bro. What do you
So
mean? I'm out here
You
trying.
can't be distant in your 20s?
Nah. You're
What
20.
are
I
we
think
talking
that's-
about?
that there's an argument there that's more of an argument in your 20s, that you're not there for me. In your 30s,
Yeah.
like your life is expected, again, expectations of society
Yeah, but
to
also,
be settled.
also,
with your 20s.
you expect somebody in their 30s to have a little bit of a different mind state. You expect someone to be a little bit more mature. So now that you're in your 30s and you're doing this, I'm pretty sure you've had enough real life experiences to know the ramifications of what you're doing. You know, like when you're 30, you know that's bad. When you're 20, you know. I'm not saying it's. I'm not saying
Giving
you,
passes to
Li-
20 year
Listen, I'm not saying you're giving a pass, but I feel like in your 20s, you're still trying to discover yourself and you're still trying to learn about yourself. and you're still trying to guide yourself through these experiences, right? I'm not saying in your 20s it's okay to cheat.
If what you're saying is true, why even look for a relationship in your 20s? Then?
That's why.
Oh, so this guy's
No,
saying
I'm
celebrate
not.
till 30. Eh?
I'm
Ah.
not 100%. I don't.
No, but for real though, like, is there a point of looking for a relationship through your 20s? Just
There-
generally
there are-
speaking,
There are like,
if
don't get me
that's
wrong.
the thought process.
Don't get me wrong. There are people who have had successful relationships in their 20s,
Mhm.
and kudos to them. But I just think it's difficult to grow with somebody at a certain age when you both don't know who you are yet. Does that make sense?
Not really. I'm not
He was
following.
honest.
I'm not saying at any point cheating is okay, but I just think when you're in your 30s, you're in your 40s, you have a better grasp as to,
Reality.
yeah, like you know what you're getting yourself into. You know if you say yes to this person, the type of effect that it has on your significant other. I think in your 20s, your temptations kind of are a little bit going through your roof, like crazy. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I kind of
I'm not for me. I'm not saying I'm a cheater, man.
Just saying.
I'm not saying I'm a cheater, man.
Leave
But
what
I'm
to do
saying,
here.
I'm just saying
Should I talk to your girlfriend?
widely known. It's like, I hear this all the time. Like, I've been cheated on before, and I'm like, wow, how old are you? And I'm like 18, 30. And I'm like, yo, bro, it's because I'm not saying it's because of a reason, but I know it's because y'all didn't know each other yet, and something wasn't right in the relationship.
I don't know if I agree with that. That's quick to assume. That's quick to assume.
Okay, but what's your take on it?
I just think that because I was thinking about this question, I was first agreeing with what you're saying, but
Mhm.
now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, no, I disagree heavily. I don't think it. I think it's dependent on the situation. You know, I could be in my 40s. I could be in a committed relationship in my 20s and my teens and have a lot of connection and closeness to the person, and then I could be in a relationship in my 40s with somebody and not have that same closeness and connection with that person, and the cheating would be different to me in both scenarios.
But you would
Right.
assume that if when you're older, you're
Mhm.
looking for something more.
I personally think that it gets messier when the relationship has more of a stipulation on it. So if I'm getting cheated on in a marriage,
Yeah,
different from when I'm getting cheated on as a boyfriend.
exactly. So
Right.
you're more likely
Mhm.
to talk it out as a husband than as a boyfriend because now.
But I could be married in my 20s, you know, so it doesn't really put the age. The age doesn't really
Okay,
get the
but
stipulation.
typically
It's
you don't-
dependent on the situation.
Typically, people get married, and typically.
But I'm saying if I'm in a relationship, if I'm not married with somebody in my 40s and I'm in a relationship with them for let's say 6 months and they cheat on me,
That's fine.
that's not fine.
Like, just get over them. No, I mean, when I say it's fine, I mean like
I'm gonna be thinking, what the
No,
fuck?
when
Get the fuck out
when I
of
say
here.
it's fine, I mean like you haven't invested that much time and emotion yet,
Mhm.
and it's very easy to kind of get through it.
I don't
But-
know. I'm
but if
thinking
you're
about
in
it the
it for-
same way in my 20s. If I'm with somebody for 6 months and they cheat on me, I'm gonna be like, fuck you.
Yeah,
I'm not
but
gonna be
you're
thinking
done.
about it that differently as
Yeah,
20
you
and
would,
40.
You would because you're able to kind of compartmentalize these emotions better at an older
How?
age.
I got cheated on. I'm gonna be in pain regardless. What am I
I'm not saying
compartmentalizing?
you're not gonna. I'm not saying the whole experience isn't painful, but
Mm.
I'm saying at a certain point you're able to kind of.
Explain it to me. The scenario that I just gave you. 40 years old, you're in
Okay.
a relationship for 6 months, you get cheated on. 20 years old, you're in a relationship for 6 months, you get cheated on. What is the difference?
Because in your 20s, in my opinion, I think this is all just my opinion. In your 20s, you're trying to understand yourself, right?
Mhm.
So if your significant other cheated on you per se,
She has the past in the 20s.
I'm not saying she has a past, but it's very easy to get over somebody in your 20s
How is that true?
because
You're saying-
it's super easy.
I think I understand some of what you're saying. You're saying the C is bigger in your 20s. You feel like you have more options when you're 40s. You feel like those options will trail a little bit.
A little bit, but that's not the point.
I'm not even thinking about it like that. I'm
That's-
thinking about it like I got cheated on. Fuck off.
By all means, they're all painful.
Yeah.
But I'm saying at different stages of your life, it's easier to get over cheating.
I disagree, man. I disagree. I just think it's based on the situation and the type of relationship you're in. I don't think age has a lot to do with it.
I think age has to do.
I don't know, man.
Your own emotional intelligence doesn't have a lot to do with it, though, because as you age, that strengthens.
I would agree, yeah. But at the same time, it's dependent on the situation, right? So if my emotional intelligence is at a certain point at 40 years old, I'm gonna be getting into that relationship knowing what's the stipulations that I have at hand, you know, as opposed to 20 years old. I'm still gonna be emotionally intelligent, maybe not the same way, but I'm gonna still be looking at the stipulations I have at hand and weighing my options. you
Which
know,
one would be more painful to you if you got cheated on in your 20s or 40s?
in my 20s. I feel like I'd be more invested with the person, you know, lackadaisical, unknowingly.
All right, to each
I'd be
his
like,
own.
she was my everything, and now I have nothing.
Over time.
She was my everything, and now I have nothing. But yeah.
That's hilarious.
No, I just think it's
it's painful throughout everything.
tricky question, man. You're very sneaky with these.
Like it's painful
Totally can.
regardless.
You're throwing them
You know? But I'm just saying at different stages of your life, you have to look at cheating differently. I'm not saying at any point it's a free pass, but it's different in stages of life because you're at a different level of maturity, you're at a different level of experience, and you're able to handle things with a little bit more like decision making throughout that you've gained throughout your life. You know?
Fair
That's just my point.
Fair enough.
At no point is it good.
Damn,
I'm not saying.
You're basically saying, yo, any girl I'm with right now, you have free reigns. Cheat. Come cheat.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I'm gonna leave you. But if I was in my 40s, maybe we might have a conversation. You know, be like, yo, why is it?
Please don't leave.
Why is it that you
cheat?
did
I
that?
love
She'd be
you.
like, oh, I wasn't emotionally there for you. I'll be like, are you dumb? You know?
That's what you say at 40. I'm like, are you dumb? Are you dumb? That's how every
Wait.
conversation should go. Are you dumb?
Are you dumb?
Are you dumb?
But yeah, that's me.
And that wraps up another episode of the Coffee Break Podcast. I'm your host, Slim. These are my brothers.
Jama?
Mukhtar.
Another great episode. I hope you liked it. And we want you to tune in with us, man. Drop your comments down below if you liked what we had to say, if you have some questions, if you want some follow-ups. We're always going to be saying something, bro. So, we'll see you in the next episode. Got some great things on the way. We out.